Batman Eternal, as well as Batman and Robin Eternal by Scott Snyder and mostly James Tynion, feel like absolute love letters to the legacy of 90s Batman comics. You see, in the 90s, Batman comics did not shy away from featuring members of the Bat family. Of course, you have all of the Robins, but you also have appearances from Cassandra Cain, you have appearances from Stephanie Brown, you have appearances from Huntress, Catwoman, Azrael. Batman felt like he had a Bat family. These were characters that weren't just supporting Batman on his missions. They weren't making cheap cameo appearances. They were shaping the legacy of Gotham City by butting heads with Batman, by challenging his internal moral compass. They showed him a lot of love, but they also held a lot of conflicting ideologies, and they forced Batman to question his own motives and actions. It was really cool and great and in-depth writing that featured a huge ensemble cast of characters. But then when you jump into the early 2000s, aside from using, the Robins, a lot of different members of the Bat family stopped making appearances. You don't really see Cassandra Cain as much. You don't really see Stephanie Brown as much, unless it's for horrific, gratuitous shock value. And you don't see Huntress as much. Azrael kind of disappeared altogether. So Batman and the Bat family in the early 2000s didn't really exist in the same capacity that they did in the 90s. But then you get to Batman Eternal and Batman and Robin Eternal, and it becomes very obvious that Scott Snyder and James Tynion probably loved 90s Batman comics and wanted to bring these Bat family members back to the forefront. And that's why I love these comics. They're not perfect, right? They have a lot of issues, and I think especially in Batman Eternal, there's so many different story arcs that it becomes hard to follow. But I love that these comics are the first time in a long time that we get a focus on the Bat family in which they exist as their own characters. Rather than being an accessory for Batman, they are pushing the plot forward, challenging the status quo, challenging Batman, and presenting solutions that otherwise wouldn't exist if Batman was doing it the way he wanted to. And these comics are great if you are a fan of the Bat family. I think they're both like a 3 out of 5 maybe, but like as a fan of the Bat family, they're so damn entertaining. And I don't see enough people talk about how it just feels like a love letter to 90s Batman comics. It feels like the first time in almost 20 years that authors were like, let's bring back Cassandra Cain. Let's bring back Stephanie Brown and build her up to be a better and stronger character. And I think that's great. So Batman and Robin Eternal, Batman Eternal, have you guys read them? What do you think of them? Let me know down below.